Gregory Bridgerton, you unhinged lunatic. This story was Shakespearean. He was in love with her, but she was in love with him, but she was also actually feeling these other things for this other guy who was definitely in love with her. And then the first guy was getting feelings for this other girl, and this other girl was definitely feeling things for this other guy. Shakespearean. It was Shakespearean. It felt like I was reading Twelfth Night, which I adored because I love Shakespeare. I loved Gregory and I loved Lucy, and I especially loved that Lucy was so different from the other females that we've seen so far. She was practical to a fault, and she really wasn't that independent, which you don't see often with heroines, so it was really refreshing to read one. Gregory, on the other hand, went from one insane idea to the next insane, messy idea. I don't know how Lucy is going to survive having the 9 eventual kids they have together with him. Oh my god, that's too many children. That's too much mess. I don't know how she's surviving. My main and really only complaint is to do with the actual narrative and book itself, in that it felt too short. It felt like it was rushed. I felt like there was so much more that could have been said. I was really getting invested in Gregory and Lucy's love story and them starting to, warm up to each other, but it went from them starting to warm up to each other to suddenly being head over heels in love. There wasn't really much of a gap between that. It was just immediate. And then they spent the rest of the book just repeating the words "I love you" to each other, which, is great and all, but also there was plot that could have been had, which is comical in itself because there was so much going on for such a short book. It was insane. There was treason, there was kidnapping, there was interrupting a wedding with a massive objection and love declaration, there was 2 brothers hiding in a tree, spying on this girl. There was so much going on. It was insane, and yet it still felt rushed. I still felt like there could have been more that could have been developed with these characters. I really did love Gregory and Lucy together, though. They were such a beautiful pairing, and it was so nice to see this girl who had been second choice her entire life be chosen so completely by this absolutely unhinged man. He will storm a wedding, he will tie her to the water closet, he will shoot her relatives, he will do whatever it takes to make sure that she is happy, and I respect it. I think the thing that makes it easier to forgive Gregory's absolute lunacy and his ridiculous behavior and certain things that he does that clearly don't make that much sense when she's saying no, is that he's genuinely listening to her. He is listening to her throughout every single thing and picking apart her words to find out what she really means, because he knows that she's practical, he knows that she's logical, and so he knows that if something is out of character, something is wrong, and he wants to figure out what. At the end of the day, all he wants to do is figure out who Lucy is and what she wants, and that makes it really easy to forgive the ridiculousness of him. And in return, Lucy sees Gregory as not the young boy that everyone else kind of has seen him as. She sees him as a man, and she sees him as someone she can genuinely trust and confide in. But I did really enjoy it. My only complaint was that I wanted more, which is similar to my complaint from Francesca's book. But with Francesca's book, I wanted more plot and more conflict, whereas with this book, there was so much plot and so much conflict, and none of it was developed enough. I will now read the final Bridgerton collection of short stories, which is essentially all the epilogues from all of the books, and I think Violet's story as well, Violet in Bloom, which makes me think, go Violet, her garden's blooming, hopefully. And sharpen your pitchforks, because I will be ranking all the Bridgerton male love interests, and it is not going to please everyone.